You're watching Crime Scenes File. On this channel, we explore real American crime cases by focusing on the evidence, the investigation, and the unanswered questions. Each video takes you step by step through the facts. This is Crime Scenes File. The town of Elmridge was the kind of place people forgot existed once they passed through it. One main road, a few side streets, and rows of houses that all looked almost the same. It was quiet in a way that felt permanent, as if nothing important had ever happened there and nothing ever would. People trusted each other. Doors were locked more out of habit than fear. Neighbors knew the schedules of other neighbors, and anything unusual stood out immediately. That is why, on a cold Thursday morning in November, when police cars lined the street outside number 47 Willow Drive, the entire town stopped moving. At 7:42 a.m., emergency services received a call from a woman named Laura Bennett. Her voice was shaking, but controlled enough to be understood. She told the dispatcher that her husband wasn't responding and that she had found him on the floor of their home office. She said she didn't know what had happened. She said she was scared. When officers arrived, they found Michael Bennett, 41 years old, lying beside his desk. There were no signs of forced entry. No obvious injuries. The house was clean, organized, and silent. Laura sat on the couch with her hands folded tightly in her lap, staring at the wall while paramedics confirmed what she already seemed to know. Michael Bennett was dead. At first, it looked like a medical emergency. Sudden, unexpected, tragic, but natural. That kind of conclusion would have fit perfectly with Elmridge's reputation. But small details began to bother the responding officers almost immediately. Michael's phone was missing. His laptop was open, but powered off. And the chair at his desk was pushed back farther than it should have been, as if someone had stood up in a hurry. Laura told police that Michael had been working late the night before. She said she went to bed around 11 and didn't see or hear anything unusual. When she woke up just after 7 and went to check on him, she found him on the floor. The Bennetts had been married for 12 years. Friends described them as quiet, private, and polite. They weren't known for arguing in public. They didn't host parties. They didn't overshare. Michael worked as a financial consultant for a regional firm. Laura worked from home as a freelance editor. No children. No known enemies. Still, protocol required a full investigation. The medical examiner conducted an autopsy later that afternoon. By the next day, the case changed completely. Michael Bennett had not died of natural causes. Toxicology revealed a synthetic compound in his bloodstream, one that did not occur naturally and was not part of any prescription medication. It had been ingested sometime late the previous night. Michael Bennett had been poisoned. When detectives returned to Willow Drive with this information, Laura appeared shocked. She insisted she had no idea how something like that could have happened. She said Michael had been under stress at work, but nothing serious. She said they hadn't argued. She said she loved him. Investigators began reconstructing Michael's final day. At work, coworkers reported nothing unusual. He had left around 6:30 p.m., as usual. Security footage showed him exiting the building alone. His phone records showed no strange calls after that time, but that only raised more questions, because his phone had still not been found. Detectives searched the house thoroughly. In the kitchen, they found 2 mugs in the dishwasher. One had traces of the same compound found in Michael's body. The other did not. When asked about it, Laura said they had tea together before bed. She said she washed the dishes that morning out of habit, not thinking clearly. That explanation didn't sit well with investigators. They widened the scope of the investigation. Financial records showed that Michael had recently withdrawn a large sum of money from a joint account. The transaction was made quietly, without notifying Laura. When asked about it, she said she didn't know anything about the withdrawal. Emails recovered from Michael's work laptop revealed that he had been communicating with someone outside his firm using a private email account. The messages were vague but tense. They mentioned documents, mistakes, and consequences. One message, sent just hours before Michael died, ended with the sentence, "We need to fix this before it's too late." Police considered the possibility that Michael's death was connected to his work. But no evidence suggested anyone else had been in the house that night. No neighbors reported visitors. No cars were seen arriving or leaving unusually late. No doors or windows were disturbed. The focus returned to Laura. When detectives interviewed her again, small inconsistencies appeared. She changed the time she said she went to bed. She said Michael drank tea every night, then later said he usually preferred coffee. She couldn't explain why Michael's phone was missing, or why his laptop had been shut down if he had been working. Then came another discovery. A search of Laura's computer revealed browser history related to toxins. At first, she claimed it was for a writing project. But the search terms were specific. Too specific. They included dosage questions and detection windows. This was no casual research. Confronted with this information, Laura broke down. She cried. She said she felt trapped. She said Michael had been hiding things from her. Debt, secrets, the risk of public disgrace. She said she was afraid their entire life was about to collapse. But fear alone did not explain planning. Investigators traced the source of the compound used to poison Michael. It had been ordered online weeks earlier and shipped to a pickup locker just outside town. Security footage showed Laura collecting the package. Still, Laura denied intending to kill her husband. She said she only wanted to scare him. To make him stop. To force him to tell the truth. The problem with that story was timing. The amount found in Michael's system was not accidental. It was measured. Deliberate. When police finally located Michael's phone, buried under leaves near a rest stop 10 miles away, the case became clear. The phone had been wiped, but not perfectly. One recovered message draft, never sent, stood out. It was addressed to Laura. It read, "I know you've been looking through my things. We need to talk tonight. Everything." He never got the chance. Laura Bennett was arrested 3 weeks after Michael's death. During the trial, prosecutors laid out a quiet, calculated plan driven by fear of exposure and loss of control. The defense argued desperation and emotional distress. But the evidence spoke louder than any explanation. Laura was convicted of murder. The house on Willow Drive was sold within a year. New owners moved in, repainting the walls and replacing the floors. Elmridge returned to being quiet again. But residents never forgot how easily something terrible had hidden behind routine and politeness. Because the most unsettling crimes aren't loud. They happen in silence, in familiar places, carried out by people no one ever thought to question. And sometimes, the truth only surfaces after it's already too late. This concludes today's case file. Thank you for watching Crime Scenes File. If you want to see more real crime cases from across the United States, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for the next file.